Check, check. You already know what time it is, man. It's Cadillac Chronicles. Today we got Don Cannon in the whip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
Man, I feel good, man. I'm glad you invited me amongst all the legends you had on the show.
Word up.
I was
only
watching
right.
and I'm just like, man, I gotta be on there, bro. Like, how I'm not gonna be on there? Like, for the sake of the A, for the sake of Philly,
Absolutely.
I had to come through. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it was only right. So we about
First off, this car is crazy, bro. Crazy, bro. I remember this type of shit when I was younger in Philly. Used to fight. I don't know if he had no drop tops, but this shit crazy right here.
Word up. Shout out to cousin Greg, man. He kept it in the garage. You know what I'm saying? In good condition, and
Cuz you did a good thing, bro.
Absolutely. Yo, did you go to Clark?
I went to Clark. Yeah, I went to
Word
Clark,
up.
but I dropped out. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? College dropout.
Shout out
And
to
not the album.
To the AUC though. You feel me?
Yeah, shout out to the AUC. I was just watching something the other day. They said Tupac went for a semester. I'm like, that's crazy, bro.
I saw that too.
I was like, what?
Word.
But it makes sense. The story made sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yo. That's crazy. Word. Shout out to the AUC. A lot of legends came out the AUC for sure.
Yeah, when I was there, Mace was there. You know what I'm saying?
Mace was there?
Yeah, Mace was there. We was playing basketball at Burley Hall.
For real?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Mace went to height his career. He'd tell you. Mace, tell him.
What?
Yeah. Mace went to Clark, bro. Yeah.
I would never know that. Damn. Okay. Yeah, shout out to the AUC. But yeah, man, we about to get into some classics right now. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch.
Yeah, man, where you want to go? I mean, I could start from the beginning. I could go from the end.
Yeah,
let's
start from the beginning.
All right, so this first joint right here, I mean, pretty sure everybody know it. It's one of everybody's favorite. And this is Go Crazy by Jeezy and Jay-Z. There's a lot of history behind this because we helped him start his career, catapult his career early with the mixtapes. And, I got a chance to score the first record, and that was Go Crazy.
Boy, this is the official Hustlers anthem. You getting money? Throw it in the air.
Yeah.
Guess who's possessed? Still smell the blow on my clothes like Krispy Kreme. I was cooking the moles. Like horseshoes, I was tossing the moles. Time to re-up, gotta recycle.
We were shaking up something with this too, by the way. This is a record that most rappers in the South wouldn't have rapped to. T.I. rapped on it first. It was a freestyle, and then Jeezy came through and made it something.
It's kinda hard to be drug-free when Georgia Power won't give a nigga lights free. Switch hustles been killing them ever since. Get paid to tell the truth, dog. It only makes sense. When they play that new G's,
Where was you at when this came out?
Bro, I was in high school, bro.
You remember hearing this? You was down here?
I was in Jersey.
You was in Jersey. They was going crazy over this.
Yeah.
Especially when J-Verse came out. Oh, they was going
Absolutely.
crazy. Jeezy was big up there, though.
It's really classy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, classic. Had that feel.
By 18 the hard way. I have a humble nigga thinking about
Had the clubs on fire.
Who the fuck wanna play with guns? A lot of hoes, a lot of blood, dog. Shit ain't fun. So I suggest you don't play with my chains. I send these hollers at you, let them play with your brains. The streets is wide, the name is warm. The product's white.
A star was born.
Pippin', I'm so fly. I take this parachute off, I might fall and die. Wrap the work like spandex with the latex.
What you used to make this beat?
ASR X Pro. So I had an ASR 10 first, it was a keyboard, but then I got to the beat machine. And I really wanted an MPC. I always tell people the story about how my mom took me to the store. She was like, you get good grades, I'll buy you a beat machine. And I wound up getting some good grades, and she was like, I'll go buy you a beat machine. When I went to the store, they ain't had no, let me stop that before Jay go. I didn't get a chance to get the MPC because it was sold out. The dude convinced me in the store, was like, yo, you got to get this. This is what you need. I said, man, I don't want that. I want the MPC. So he wound up saying, yo, I'm telling you, bro, the RZA, everybody use this shit, bro. You got to use it. I wound up taking a chance. I don't know who that dude was. Hopefully he come out the woodworks and tell that story. But
shout out to him, though.
Yeah, he was the one who told me, yo, get this. And it made all the classics.
Wow.
More than a hustler, I'm the definition of it.
That's a good story right there.
Facts.
I ain't get good grades after that, though. I think I failed everything with that beat machine.
That's crazy.
If money talks, the whole world about to hear me out. See, See, I'm a hustler's hope. I'm not his pipe dreams. So when they speak of success, I'm what they might mean.
What you know about that?
Track money, my worst color is light green. My favorite hue is Jeezy blue. Don't follow me, young, and follow my moves. I'm not a role model. A bad influence got the world drinking gold bottles.
That's when they was gold bottles up in the club. Word.
I wasn't there though. I was too young.
I was there. That was like, I think that was the end of the BMF era, but everybody had gold bottles.
That was me first. Chrome shoe,
Especially in the A.
I came feet first. In the game like a baby born to reach birth. I got the keys if you need work. I could kingpin you a line, the dime at a time. My niggas love it when I talk like this. My corporate people start bugging cause I talk like this. The corporate thugs is like, nah, ho, talk that shit. The dope boys go crazy when they hear that boy Jay-Z. See, I'm an 80s baby, master Reaganomics.
Man, I don't know what I was going to do. When Coach finally told me, yo, listen, we got something special for you on this record, bro. I was like, man. I heard Jay-Z. I was like, bro, I might as well end my career right here because I was working.
That's crazy.
I was making beats and working to do songs for Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wild. Cause that was when. What year was that?
2005. So that was like, man, it was like Jay wasn't really doing too much either. Like he was doing here and there's, but at that point he was really like, you know what I mean? This was one. Did 64 bars, got hip hop code over on the source.
Or like he was at the top of his game for real.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, why is my first record with Jay-Z?
You know what I'm saying? That was your first record, Joe? That's crazy.
First, bro, first. You know,
wow.
Yeah, first official placement. I had other records that was like, you know, I had a joint in Virgin, Japan with this group called Slick and Rose, and then I had a couple like mixtape records, but nothing official. You know what I mean? It's the first official joint.
That's really fire. Damn. See, you was destined for greatness.
Yeah, man. That's what they say, bro. That's what they say. The goated one.
Absolutely. That's crazy. Bro can't. He got to get it right, man.
Yeah, come on, taxi boy.
Got to get it right. What's it, man?
So, you know, as we moved through the career, you know, me and Jeezy formed a super bond. We was just making records, right? I got a call from Atlantic Records shortly after. Mike Karen. He was like, hey, man, I love what you do. I would love for you to come down to Miami and work with Trick Daddy.
Wow. And
when I went down to work with Trick Daddy, I didn't get a chance to see him. He never came to the sessions, but he was, you know, he was Trick Daddy, so he was going to strip club. He was doing a lot of stuff. I think he was coming in after the records was made, but I made this special record for him, and he wound up missing it.
Oh, Thanksgiving for the money this time.
Trick Daddy was on this?
This was Trick Daddy's. I made this beat for Trick Daddy originally.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
Howdy do, motherfuckers, it's Weezy, baby niggas bitching, and I gotta tote them. Listen close.
So I'll stop it right there because I got more to the story. So when I made it for Trick Daddy, I was thinking about like, yo, I'm from up north. What's Trick Daddy gonna rap on one of my beats? So the first thing I was doing is like, yo, I'm gonna flip a old Miami bass record. You know what I mean? So it was really come on ride this train, that doom 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 doom, and that's where the beat kind of originated from the original sample. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna flip the original sample of a Miami bass record, and that's how, you know, that's how I got that joint off for him.
That's crazy.
Ain't that crazy?
Like the fucking old bandits. One hand on my money, one hand on my buddy. That's the AK-47.
Still had the up north bounce to it, you know what I mean? But just south too.
This beat is so hard.
I appreciate that. And I never really told that, so for people that know, Busta Rhymes was the first person to really rap on this beat after Trick Daddy and Get It. Yeah, Busta was first. It was on Busta's mixtape at first.
How did he get it?
So we gave it to him. So we were shopping the beat around just to, you know, just to get some people on it. And then Drum wound up inking a deal with Atlantic, and he needed a record. And he wound up sending this to Wayne. And Wayne actually did the whole record by himself. He did 3 minutes straight. I had to cut the verse in half and make one verse because there was a hook in the beginning. Rest assured, I got in the Azure. Me and my people hold a cannon. Like, that was the hook. You know what I'm saying? And then I took the hook out and made one verse of the song.
That's crazy.
And then T.I. and Freeway, Willie the Kid, all them wound up getting on that after that. And what I always tell about this record too is, after I did this beat, another 1,000 to 10,000 rappers that I wanted to work with was on this beat. So I'm like, damn, how do I work with all these you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to say. It's probably a million people that didn't rap like this somebody on this song. Real talk.
Bro, it's
battle
like
rapping.
It's like anybody I met, like I was just trying to get them beats. They was like, bro, I rapped on Ken, and I'm like, bro, this is everybody I'm talking to. Like, you know what I'm saying?
real.
All the people I'm trying to work with, they all rapped on that beat. And Go Crazy, by the way. Go Crazy came out, I had Mary did a verse. Fat Joe did a verse.
You said Mary did a verse?
Yeah, Mary was freestyling on it on
real?
something. Yeah, like I heard so many versions of the song. I'm like,
Wow.
damn, what am I going? Who I'm gonna get beats to?
That's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? But I wound up between them two records, everybody I knew basically was just rapping, you know what I'm saying, on that beat. So I was like, damn, who I'm gonna work with? So that's some of the formula for me working with the younger artists, because it was like,
Yeah.
bro, I already got a song with them.
Wow. You want to know something funny? So my friends had beef, right? And they had a rap battle, and bro popped it off with this beat.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
go
I heard
ahead.
that story a couple times.
That was like probably a month ago, yo, real talk.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had a couple people coming to me like, yo, you started my career with that. I'm like, damn. That's
Word,
crazy. Yeah. So we moved through, and then, you know, as me and Jeezy started going, I started helping him with his albums a little bit more. We did Mr. 17.5, which was everybody's favorite.
Word.
Currency was on that joint. Stack Bundles, rest in peace, did one of the illest
Damn.
verses, you know. And again, it was another beat that everybody rapped on. You know what I'm saying? So really, I wanted to step in, like during the Recession and Jeezy album. It was 2008. I wanted to really come in and be like, yo, the world is poor. Motherfuckers ain't got no money. Who can be the Robin Hood that just ride the truck around the city with a couple M's in the back and just go into all the hoods in Atlanta and just throwing money out the back of the truck and feeding the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I came up with.
Yeah. Can I see, nigga? Say I'ma start off so slow. Yeah, I said so slowly. Love me out in DC just like go go. Said go go. Yeah, I said go go. See I'm back with Don Cannon. It's go go. See I want my song like go go.
Same anthem, you know what I mean? Same anthem.
Like go go. See the made it 17. See the logo. Every time they count a baby go go. You know how to drop beat, everything slow. You know how to drop beat, anything go. Remember back when I got the snow low and I was in and out of state just like Romo. Looking out for them boys.
The reason I did this is like I'm giving you the Robin Hood story, right? The song is called Circulate, making money circulate in the streets. So I wanted to do something different than him being a hustler and motivating the street dudes. I wanted to motivate the real hood, like, you know what I mean? When you hear him talking about it, it's like he really was Robin Hood. He was taking all the money and just going to the hood, giving it back to the poor. You know what I mean?
Them drums going crazy.
Crazy. And what else is good about this is really mixed well. People think it's just a sample flip. So I mixed it so well that there's a live drummer on here. There's a live horn on here.
Wow.
You just don't hear the accents. If you listen to the original sample versus this, you go like, oh, I hear the drums, especially at the end of the song. There's a lot of drum riffs when he's like talking. Right here, drums. That's live drums. Nobody knew about that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So this is really like a composition on top of a sample. The original sample was dope, but I heard that song, you know, Billy Paul and the Philly sound. It was just like, bro, Circulate for Jeezy, and he nailed it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't make it like dreary. Like, you know, once we talk about like the poor and the misfortunate, like we always talk in a dreary space. Like it's got to be sad. We was not trying to make it happy.
Where's
So
the
people was in the
motivation?
club like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It was different vibes.
Yo, it sounded like, you know, like you was really on your Curtis Mayfield shit right there.
Yeah, I mean the Curtis horns is how I really basically catapulted my career.
Damn.
I always was high energy. I always wanted people to move. If you listen to all the songs, it's just horns and strings and a lot. You know what I mean? I didn't get into my like real like piano bag and smooth shit later into my career. My first 10, 12 records was all energy.
it's like a feeling of victory. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was trying to do, like
Yeah.
uplift. You know what I mean? I was fighting though. You know, I'm fighting against Shawty Red, got the horns, drummer. These all my peers right here at Patchwork. You know what I'm saying? We
Word.
come here at Patchwork. We all lined up playing beats, and I was like, man, how I'm gonna be different from them, man? Them dudes is on different levels.
Word.
You know what I'm
Crazy
saying?
with it.
I'm coming from Philly. You know, they got all the 808s. They got that shit knocking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Word.
man. So I had to play different, you know. And then, you know, I moved on. You know, I'm skipping through records, but speaking of horns, there was a guy named Chainz. He was Teddy Boy. I tell this story. I never told it before, but he used to come by the studio, and it was a time where I remember, you know, he can explain it if he's telling it right, where people ignore him as being a rapper. He was always the person that had the connects. He could connect you to anybody. You need shirts, jerseys, connect you. You need something straight, connect you. You know what I'm saying? So he would always come by and play me records. And I remember he was like, yo, I'm thinking about changing my name to 2 Chainz. You know what I'm saying? And at first I was like, nah, keep it Titty Boy. You was already on to something. But then, you know, I kept giving him an ear. You know what I mean? He kept giving him an ear. He kept working at it. And then one day he was like, bro, whenever you get a chance, I need one of them Jeezy motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I'm going to figure it out. I finally figured it out, and I gave him this joint.
Cannon. Yeah.
Same horns, you know what I mean? This wound up being on a lot of TV shows, Floyd Mayweather fight, all that. This is Floyd's favorite record for a second. He was coming out to it, boxing, you know what I mean?
You know the code, point seen, money gone. You know what I'm on, past the styrofoam. I feel good, 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 I feel good. Motivated, woke up.
I always thought he could rap, bro. I just had to give him something he could perform to, you know what I mean?
Come save the Glock. Bang, bang, motherfucker, this is gun talk. I got a fresh pair, step and get fresh air. Eve St. Laurent, spring collect wear. Yeah, and I've been on my paper route. A lot of zeros in my motherfucking bank account.
He was on fire then, bro. He was on fire, I ain't gonna front. That first album was crazy.
One of a kind, my number 9. Powder on my chest, diamonds on my neck. I drop the work and make it backflip. I'm a walking poster child with sax filth in the catalog.
Yo, it sound like what's that Mrs. like lights, camera, action. That's what it sound like.
Yeah, Shot the Bank. That was an up tempo that we all was trying to get to. Like, you know what I mean? Bink was known for them energy records, so I was like, man, where's my energy? You know what I mean? So as we working through that, you know, me and Tip, we tripping. We formed a great, you know, bond musically. Continued to, you know, lend him an ear, come through, listen to his albums. Anytime I called him for something, he was always there, man. Whether it was coming to, you know, a listening party, giving us verses for our artists, like it was never the no guy to me. You know what I mean? And again, I met him really early, so you know, for the people that don't know, like they never wanted him to be this guy. They always wanted him to be, you know, the cool titty guy, you know, titty boy, the cool dude. You know what I'm saying? But I always say he had talent, he had a unique voice. Holmes could always dress. You know what I mean? You know, he's saving the tall brothers. You know what I'm saying? We tall, the tall niggas that could dress. You know what I mean? We moved along in my career, and then, you know, I started forming relationships. One of the biggest relationships I met was 50 Cent. And 50 Cent was one of those guys that always like, yo, I love your music, bro. Just keep feeding me, you know. And through his years, he was so hot. He had all the beats. I never could quite get one on. You know what I'm saying? I wound up having one of my homies, Detroit Red, crazy producer, bro, from Detroit. He wound up giving me this beat, and I was like adding little cleanup pieces to it, like making sure the kick was hitting right, making sure things is doing right. And I finally sent it to 50, and that was it. Shout to Detroit Red, he's crazy too.
Yeah. These trying to plan a murder on me. In the precinct, they saying I done murdered on me. I told my
This was an important song too, because in that time period, he was in a battle. I don't know if y'all remember the battle with him and Kanye West. They was fighting for #1. You know what I mean? It was all on the TV.
On 106 Park.
They was
I
on the
remember,
magazines facing off like it was the biggest fight of that. And to be a part of that history right there just meant a lot. You know what I mean?
I'm getting sidetracked back to the story. This cocksucker got it in for me. They want me up.
And for, not for no reason, this whole joint was clean. It was never no dirty version. Because there's a sample in it that 50 put in at the last minute, and it was like in order to clear it, it had to be clean. So no matter what album you got, the dirty clean, it was the same version.
Oh wow!
I murdered him. I said I murdered him. Any motherfucker touch me, I murdered him. I murdered him. You don't believe me? Wait and see. I murdered him. They say I told you I'd murdered him.
So this one I knew I made it, right? So me and Dron was working on his album, and I was like, man, what can we do that could be like, oh, they different from everybody? And I was like, man, I got to make this record. And Dron tells his story, but I tell it a little different because I like people to be surprised when they hear it. But when he was working on his album, he was like, yo, I want an Outkast on my shit. And I was like, bro, there's no way you go get Outkast on your album. There's no way, bro. He's like, I'm going to try. Man, he stuck to it. He manifested it. I wound up making a beat. He wanted me to make this specific beat for him. And I tried a whole bunch of ideas. He sent them. They didn't work. The last idea I did was just playing keys. You know, I remember the motif. I had just bought the motif, and I played these certain keys. I was like, damn, this eerie enough. I know Dre is going to fuck with this. You know what I mean? Start playing these keys, and it just sounded like nothing else that was out. And he sent it to Dre, and I remember for like, a week, he was like, yo, I'm working on it. He finally sent the verse in, and it was this one.
Word. Keys crazy.
Keys is crazy, right?
Organ synth kind of going on.
So I'm watching her fine ass walk to my bedroom.
Another hip-hop
and
quotable.
thought to myself, that's the shape of things to come. She said, why in the club you don't make it precipitate? Make it rain when you can make it thunderstorm. I'm like, wow, the world needs sun, the hood needs fun. So there's a war going on and half the battle is guns. How dare I throw it on the floor when people are poor? So I write like Edgar Allan to restore. Got a cord, umbilical attached to a place that can't afford no landscaping or window draping. This old lady told me if I ain't got nothing good, say Nathan. That's why I don't talk much. I swear it don't cost much to pay attention to me. I tell it like it is, then I tell it how it could be. The hood be requesting my services. Oh, don't get nervous. It's
also an important record for me because this is the first record that I didn't have a sample taking percentage of my record. This is all original. It's the first joint I ever played. You know what I'm saying?
That's fire.
I even thought about sampling horns on this joint, and I wound up saying, yo, just play the horns, bro. Go get a 50%er finally. And this is my first 50%er.
I'm in a swell mood, a rather swole mood, until she told me that she told dude that she'll be back, she's going to the store. I didn't know she had a boyfriend, so the door I pointed her to. I said, call me when y'all break up. I don't fuck nobody, bitch, and never on the jig up. Know what time it is.
That nigga raps is incredible, bro.
Like a nigga supposed to live. If I still drink that malt liquor, I'd pour the beer on the ground for niggas not around. I started off starving, now they got me out here Brett Farvin, trying to see if I still got it.
So this joint had Marsha Ambrosius too from Floetry and Big. And I remember only having those pieces when we played it for Big. And I remember being at Stankonia, just watching Big walk around with the Black and Mild, like, yo, just writing his rap. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, he about to spaz. He had the face too. He was like, and I think it's because Dre was already on it, so he was kind of like, yo, I'm about to snap too.
I got a tweak.
He's that snap. So now we looking at my career, right? I'm 4 or 5 years in. I got Jeezy, Jay-Z. I had Tip, Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Those now I'm looking at like, who do I work with, bro? I'm working with everybody. 50.
Word. Team change. You had everybody for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I was moving through the catalog. I was like, bro, I got to start working with people that need the help to come up. And, I formed a lot of good relationships. One was Pharrell, Ye West for sure, and then Pusha and Malice. they was instrumental in hip hop. Grinding was like
Facts.
probably the biggest records to ever come
Absolutely.
out. So when he's asking me for records, I'm like, bro, I don't got Grinding, bro. I don't got that, bro. I don't got Mr. Me Too, bro. I don't. These is monumental records. Like I got Cannon, but I don't know if I can make that again. Some time went on, and I think that I had this record, and I think Kanye reached out and was like, yo, this record you did with Pusha, super serious, bro. Super duper serious. And I still ain't heard it. And Pusha wound up playing it for me one day. And this is what it was.
How you feeling? Feel all right?
Let my man Riggs tell it. My man Riggs Morales from New York. He said this is one of the screw face beats of all time.
I'm so bossy, bitch, get off me. It's a different jingle when you hear these car keys. Your SL's missing an S, nigga. Your plane's missing a chef. The common theme, see they both got wings. If you fly, do it to death. It's only one God and it's only one crown. So it's only one king that can stand on this mound. King push, kingpin, overlord. Coast Guard come 100 going overboard. I got money with the best of them. Go blow for blow with any Mexican. Don't let your side bitches settle in. Might have to head, but you ever land. Ballers, I put numbers on the boards. Hard to get a handle on this double-edged sword. Whether rapping or
I don't know if you can see, but like in my imaginary making beats, I look at everything as movies.
Word, it's like a movie right
Yeah,
now.
so this song, when I was making this beat, I was like, yo, I want the Sopranos feel. You know what I mean? If the Sopranos came on, you could see them coming through Tony, like, you know what I'm saying?
Numbers on the boards.
It's real simple,
Ballers,
just
I put
grimy.
numbers on
I
the
ain't gonna lie, it
boards.
sound like it's like it being like a kung fu movie. You know what I'm saying?
That too. It's real kung fu. It's real Wu-Tang-ish, you know what I mean?
Motherfuckers can't rhyme no more. About crime no more.
Mix drug and show money. Biggs Burke on tour. 25 bricks move work like
And I can see
Shaw.
like
Hit
how
that
Ye
with
would really
twice,
rock with
twice,
this, cause like that was right up his alley. Yo.
Yeah,
Real talk.
yep. I think this is right around, let me see, 2012. This might have been Cruel Summer. Was it called Cruel Summer? Yeah, Cruel Summertime, when he was making all them joints with the team, like Lamborghini Mercy, that whole album. I think this is around the same time, so I really wanted to make something different too. Like I wanted to be totally different.
That's fire.
In 2012, that's also a special time because I took a job at Def Jam as VP and A&R just to learn. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to learn. Like I was cool. I was making my money. I was, I had deals, but I just wanted to learn. I wanted to explore and figure out what's the next level of my career. You know what I'm saying? We had the label already. Man, me and Drum had a deal for the affiliates in 2006 with Asylum. So we was trying to really figure out what's the next step. What are we doing? So I dipped. I went to Cali for 18 months, lift up the hood, and saw it was nitrogen in there. You know what I mean? Once I found out the nitrogen, I'm like, oh, that's what they doing? All right, cool, bet. I stepped off. I did my little DJ thing, moving around. Just I had an agent called Scam Artist, Sujit, and he took me to like all these, residencies. I had Vegas, Houston, Dallas, Atlantic City, Charlotte, L.A. I was just running it. You know what I mean? One of the gigs in Atlantic City, Jersey, right? I'm riding on the way down there to my gig, and the radio comes on, and I hear this kid rapping fast as hell. I call the radio station. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this kid, yo? And DJ Diamond Cuts comes like, yo, it's this kid I'm working with. He from North Philadelphia. He dope. You should meet him. I said, yeah, I want to meet him. When I come back from my gig, I'm coming back to Philly instead of going back to Atlanta. And I wound up coming back to Philly to meet him. And his name was Vert.
Wow.
And that's when I knew all my Def Jam days didn't go in vain because I already knew the business. You know what I'm saying? I knew the business. So I'm like, oh, I know how to sign an artist now. Oh, we about to get lit. Like a real artist, a real situation. And it was special because we coming from Philly. For somebody to have that versatile of a style, you know what I mean? You wouldn't know like, oh, okay, this ain't gonna work for most people. It was working for us, you know what I mean?
Word.
Our first hit record was this.
Damn. I ain't this in a minute.
Yeah, it do not matter. Turn to a savage, pocket got fatter. She got me daddy. Smoking that gas, got all that Zany, she on a powder. Nowadays I am on my head, I got sadder. Money got long, but
this the new Atlanta was none of this here, bro.
Turn to a savage, pocket got fatter. She got me daddy. Smoking that gas, got all that Zany, she on a powder. Nowadays I am on my head, I got sadder.
This is like when motherfuckers like, yeah, Lil Uzi like the new generation, dead ass.
Yeah, he was the new generation. I mean, you think about it, man. We took him to multiple situations, and everybody was like, yo, how a kid from purple hair from Philly gonna work? You know what I'm saying? We was like, bro, what you mean? This kid's dope. And what people don't know about him is dude come a real music background. You know what I'm saying? Dude, like, he got his name Uzi Vert from spitting like a Uzi in battle raps. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, oh, you rap like a little Uzi. And that's where it came from. You know what I mean? His first name was, I think it was Steaktown Vertical. He was just Vert from Steaktown, Philly. And I think that people didn't see it until they started hearing him do hits. You know, when you got artists, you know, they don't become anything until you got like one hit. Like you can have the underground buzzing, you can have all this shit going, but you gotta be like, once you get that joint, like, oh, he rocking everything. He got the club, he got the radio, he got the streets. Then you different. You know?
Facts.
And that's one thing Jeezy had. That's one thing Tip had. So we just had to make, you know, his version of what a hit would be for the whole world. Like, this is one of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, you know, I worked through. We did tons of records. They all became good records. Some of them became diamond records. You know, he got 3 diamond records. XO Tour Life is one of them. Just Wanna Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I'm just running through his shit. You know what I'm saying? He got
MC Vert.
He got a lot of records. I wound up working with a lot of artists around that time. Playboy Cardi, I did a song with him with Gunna. Meek Mill at that time. I did a record with Meek Mill. Was Trauma. That was big at the Grammys because he told a story for, you know, the youth on that record. I'm gonna play that joint. That joint's important. But I did a lot of records. I did a lot of records people don't know. I got samples that I gave people that they made records with that people don't know about, that I got plaques on the low for, but I never tell it. Ancient Chinese secret type shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Ancient Chinese secret.
No snitching. But yeah, drums I done gave people, samples I done gave people. I was part of, you know, people picking their records. Drum was part of people picking their records. But yeah, the Meek joint, that's just special because at that time we was coming out of, you know, Black Lives Matter, quote unquote. And he was making songs for the hood, and this was one of them. It was like, yo. And if you fuck that paper up, be putting hoes through, and you just wanna make it home so you can short. Philly's a special city. I'm like Jersey, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a special place, you know what I mean? My Sally mom just died, he wanna use my collect, and he won't make it to the wake unless he give him a check. We still niggas though, what you expect? I was on the corner with the reef. Then they got us warm for a free. See my brother blood on the paper. How you wake up in the morning feeling evil? Trauma. When them drugs got a hold on your mouth, and the drugs got a hold on your mouth. Special about this record, we know all about this record. People know people's aunts and uncles that were strung out on drugs, everybody in the street, people homeless. So I felt like this meant a lot, you know what I mean? For that time period. And that's one of my classics. Is one of people come up to me and be like, yo, that Trauma joint, that saved my life. I feel like, damn, you know what I mean? Also moving through, you know, as we moved on, we found this special kid that wound up being a mega star. And it's one of the kids that early on, people again was like, bro, how y'all gonna break him, bro? It's no way, bro. We tell the story, they always say, yo, how y'all gonna break Napoleon Dynamite? And I said, then he don't even look like that. I don't even know where y'all coming from.
Damn.
And they was like, well, you made one, make another. So we made another.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in.
Feel me?
I got options. I can pass that bitch like Stockton. Just joshing. I'ma spend this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10. I can put the ball in the end zone, put a bad bitch in the friend zone.
We got to a point where if people told us they liked it, we ain't want to work with it no more. You know what I'm saying? When they tell us, nah, that ain't gonna work, I was like, oh, we got one. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's ass backwards, but at the same time, it's like, bro, if you tell us, yo, y'all got one with that, it's like, nah.
Well, you gotta push the boundaries, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be like, yeah, no, let's switch that up. They ain't it. They like it too much. If they don't like it, it's gonna win, bro.
Goddamn. Spending money at the club like Sam's. Yes, ma'am. She a little freak on cam.
Main Streets, what's up?
Put this on the ground. Little boys trying to diss on the
That's
ground.
the studio right there. That's the hood right there.
Shit's hot, hit the switch on the fan. This where my head is.
It's funny where we started driving. You know, that was our first official studio right there where we got raided. That same parking lot.
For real?
That's what's history about this. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, right there. 137 Walker Street.
What?
It's right there on the corner.
That's crazy.
When I rode by, I got chills because every time I go by there, you know, they got a restaurant there. They made some shit. But that right there is where the raid happened.
Damn.
Right where you picked me up at.
That's crazy.
Ain't that crazy? So we starting from the beginning right there again. That's some real shit. So, you know, I'm jumping through his hits, you know. We made another one with this guy, you know what I'm saying? After they said we could. After selling a diamond record again. So, you know, we had our fun with, you know, these guys. I did this record with them.
I can't let nobody play with me. My friends stay with me. I'm finally speaking up to anything that's not okay with me. I'm in the ATL, Clint Capella and Young Trey with me. Spent my first advance at Linux. Haven't been back in a minute.
Do y'all remember when I told you I found this kid from Kentucky and he was gonna be the one?
That was the time they told us it wasn't gonna be one.
I can't let nobody play with me. My friends stay with me. I'm finally speaking up to anything that's not okay with me. I'm in the ATL, Clint Capella and Young Trey with me. Spent my first advance at Linux. Haven't been back in a minute.
How you hear this kid be like, he can't rap?
Mitch McConnell still in Senate. Ocean rising by the minute. Just like us, we came to win it. I got properties for tenants at a steakhouse in Chicago with Cole Bennett. Talking friendship, loving business. It's just so crazy to be young and rich. What kind of life is this? All I needed was a WAN. Long way from a wife and kids. Hollywood done turned me right into a multi-hyphenate. And still I play it cool, I don't get hyped for shit. I'ma let you talk, but wait till I finish. Yeah, we getting cake, but all the time we spent together is what the icing is. Cannon put some life inside this beat, that's why it's looping while I'm writing this. Y'all's whole personality, self-righteousness. And I don't like that shit.
Trials and tribulations.
So, you know, he be spazzing. So, you know, we always patting our artists off being the best rappers that they can be because, you know, we're a development team. We develop products, and these are the guys we want to develop. So I always wanted to pride myself on, yo, can you rap first? John was like, can you rap first? You know what I'm saying?
Word.
That's the number one rule. Can you actually rap?
That's fire.
Yes, I got over 200, 300 records. One of the records people don't know I did. I was very early. It was 2012. It was in the height of his career was Kendrick Lamar. He did a record called 100. I did the record, but the verse was so crazy. I just wanted to play it because a lot of people don't know or ever heard it.
As I look up to the sky,
It was featuring Big Sean and Royce the 5'9".
hit all the girls I
Verse
want
is
and make
crazy.
sure my niggas right, and my family live that life. As I look up to the sky, thought about 100 things to do before I die. Wondering if I can live it all in one
Same
life.
Kendrick, same flow, same
one
verse.
night. As I look up to the sky, I thought about 100 things to do before I die.
I gotta break your fucking heart. I gotta climb these fucking charts. I gotta do something that's innovative, creative, just to create a legacy before death do us part. I gotta spend one summer in Tijuana with Tia and Tia's mama. Breakfast in bed, his head with plenty carne asada. I gotta find me a wife to elope. I gotta I gotta find, cause I ain't wanna vote, I promise. I know the history of those who died for the rights for me to survive. But those who lied to the minority will make them turn inside their grave. I can easily pretend like y'all, but that's not me. I gotta spread the truth even when the truth can hurt. The youth need to know every detail about this earth. The devil controls it. So before you scrutinize how I feel, ask God if them pose impotent. The end is near.
That boy was crazy, right?
He was whack. Like Socrates.
Yo, he was saying some shit on that joint. But you know, moving through my career, like I always kind of got to I brought the best out of the artist. You know, when I play the beat, they always wanted to get their best verse for some reason. I'm thankful for that because they'll live for those are records that'll live for a long time. You know what I mean?
Word, that's fire.
But yeah, so you know, through all the rappers, you know, I told people like, you know, I'm the humble guy, everybody say, but one of the things I do got to pride myself on is I was able to work with every artist, every rap artist in a top 10 besides Drake and let me see, who was it? Drake, Pac, and Biggie. I worked with everybody else.
Wow.
I worked with Outkast, Jeezy, Nas.
You got a song with Jadakiss?
I got a song with Jada. Yeah, I got 2 songs with Jadakiss. Do I have them now?
Yo, Kiss top 5, yo. Real talk.
Yeah, Kiss, bro. Kiss is crazy. What's up, player?
What's that, OG?
Let me see if I can find a Kiss record. But yeah, shit. Oh yeah, we good then. Shit. But yeah, I got Kiss. I got Rick Ross. That Super High that everybody loved from Rick Ross. I wound up doing the cuts on the end of that. And everybody didn't know that. And that was Clark Kent's record. My homie. So I did so much stuff, bro. You know, in and out hits, break artists. But yeah, I done work with everybody.
You really done mastered the game. For real, for real.
Unexpectedly, bro. I didn't expect it. I was just working. You know what I mean? I just finally completed the whole thing with Eminem last year. I finally did the record with Eminem and got nominated for a Grammy for that. So that was the last one. So now I got everybody. I got Dre, I got Eminem, I got J. Hold on. Who's your top 5?
I ain't gonna lie. Rakim.
That's a good one. I ain't work with Rakim.
You know
That's a good one.
Pimp C.
Good one.
I'm gonna put Kiss in there. I ain't gonna lie.
Kiss.
Cannabis. You know what I'm saying?
He said cannabis. That's that Jersey shit.
Word. I ain't gonna
he gonna say cannabis. That's the Jersey shit. But he was good as shit though.
Word. I mean, I don't really got to talk. I like everybody. I like a lot of people, but Big Daddy Kane is in there too. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, Kane was fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed all that. I was a little too young, but if I had a chance, I would love to do it. But you know, I got our version of Big Daddy Kane in this. You know what I'm saying?
Word up.
But yeah, we caught everybody, man. I appreciate you having me on this joint, bro.
I appreciate
this
you
is fire.
coming through, man.
And riding around and seeing the old Atlanta. You know, this used to be stomping grounds right here.
Facts.
Everything's brand new now.
Word, it's way different right now, man.
Yeah, especially where we got to ride by the raid spot. That shit's brand new. But that's the history right there.
Yeah, man. Full circle, bro.
Yes, sir.
Real talk. But yeah, y'all know what it is, man. It's Cadillac Chronicles. We got Don Kennan in the whip.
Yes, sir. The Goat Farm, baby.
Absolutely. We're going to catch y'all on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Peace.